Matt Peiken here with the Wake Up Podcast, and I have a confession to make. I don't live in your city. I produce this newscast from all the credible sources of journalism and the reporters who make up your local media landscape. I try to get the names of people and places right, but once in a while, I'll mispronounce something. So I want you to set me straight so I don't repeat the mistake. If you hear anything amiss or just want to send feedback on the show, email me at editor@wakeupthenews.org. All right, on with the news. Wake up, Jacksonville. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for closing your week out with me for this Friday newscast for March 6th. As housing prices climb in Jacksonville, a local program is offering a different path to home ownership. The Jacksonville Community Land Trust separates ownership of a house from the land beneath it. The city keeps the land, lowering the purchase price and monthly payments for income-qualified buyers. Hobie Simmons is set to close today on a home valued at about $137,000. With assistance, he'll finance roughly $115,000 and pay about $900 a month. The trust has secured about 50 properties since launching in 2022 and is seeking buyers earning below 80% of the area's median income. You can read more about this at Jacksonville Today. Municipal leaders across Florida are pushing back against legislation filed by Jacksonville Republican Representative Dean Black and Senator Clay Yarborough that would bar cities and counties from spending money on DEI. The bills would also require contractors and grant recipients to certify they're not using public dollars for DEI efforts. Fernandina Beach Commissioner Janice Minshew says the measure could force cuts to nonprofit funding. Supporters, including Black, say the measure could force cuts to nonprofit funding. Supporters, including Black, say the goal is to promote merit, not division. Mayor Deegan's office says it's monitoring the bills as the session continues. Read more about this at Jacksonville Today. City leaders are working to cover nearly $45 million in completion grants due next fiscal year, including incentives for downtown projects like the Shipyards development near Everbank Stadium. Those grants are a major factor in a projected budget deficit auditors estimate could reach between $60 to $70 million before budgeting begins. Council members and the mayor's office have already identified more than $37 million to pay down the obligations without tapping reserves. They're shifting money from other funds and rethinking how future grants are approved. Read more about this in the Daily Record. Nearly 9 years after a sex trafficking bust in Jacksonville, a local hotel is just now facing a federal lawsuit. A woman identified as Jane Doe is suing AMPN Hospitality, the operator of the Baymont Inn and Suites on Blanding Boulevard. She alleges she was beaten, raped, and forced into commercial sex acts there over 3 weeks in 2017. The suit alleges hotel staff ignored red flags, including cash payments and heavy foot traffic. The Trafficking Victims Protection Reauthorization Act allows her to seek damages. The traffickers were later convicted. Read more about this in the Jacksonville Business Journal. And Jacksonville University is adding women's flag football as a new club sport this spring with financial backing from the NFL. The move is part of the league's push to expand women's flag football at colleges nationwide. More than 500,000 girls played the sport in 2023, and Florida leads the country with over 360 high schools and 10,000 players. The university is also launching Olympic weightlifting and pickleball, bringing its club sports total to 13. School leaders say the additions respond to growing student interest. Read more about this at the Jacksonville University News. Our free newsletter is a quick local news digest, essentially this newscast in written form. Subscribe at wakeupjacks.transistor.fm. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at wakeupjacksfl. And please share this podcast with your friends who care about this city. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for starting your weekdays with Wake Up Jacksonville.